today we're going to beautiful ancient Egypt. Well, like 1970s Egypt, but still Egypt. We're here, fuck it, let's... So, when it comes to ancient Egypt, the one thing that people like to bring up is high technology. They had advanced high technology. I tend to agree with that. Although I don't say it's so advanced that they were running around with some kind of super saws like, we've never seen before, but that they were possibly using a technology that we simply overlook. That we're like, well, we know about it, but we didn't think that they actually used something like that. Just like it just didn't click or something. And so like one of the theories that a lot of people have, and myself, I think it seems rather plausible, is using sound and light. Now here I want to show you guys this. So we see right here, this is the water running. Now when they pump different frequencies through it, the vibrations hit the hose and they cause the water to have a certain effect to it. So it appears that it's doing something that, it's not. Like it appears that it's running in fast forward there, but when they change it back to 23 or 24 or whatever, it'll freeze and it look like it's frozen in time. Just like that. I mean, is that cool or what? And that's just from it flowing. It'll just follow that exact same path, but to the eye, it appears that it's just frozen in time. I think it's really fucking neat, but it shows how sound can manipulate everything, even your perception of stuff. And I think that's one of the main points today, is that we have to forget about our preconceived notions and our perceptions of what it is, and look at what it could be, what makes the most sense. What did they have to do all this stuff with? Because we look at some of the tools that the ancient Egyptians used, and we see, okay, that these aren't going to work on granite. You're not going to, these copper chisels are just simply not going to work. It's just not going to happen. So we have to move beyond that and say, how could some of this stuff be accomplished? Right, so check this out, you guys. So this guy is using sound to drill through different things. See, look at how he drilled right through that piece of solid green granite. Man, that's cool. Right through it, just with sound. Oh, and the copper, obviously. Alright, so this one, he's just running sound again through it again, but look how it carved into the granite. So I could see them carving hieroglyphs like that. It would make a lot more sense than trying to chisel it as perfect as it looks. Look how he could just make shapes of the copper and it just course it out like that. Now this is another thing that's really cool too. Check this out. He's going to vibrate the rocks. He's running this frequency through it, and then he's just holding the two rocks together, just putting his weight on it, and it's just running the frequency, just shaking it, and watch what happens. This is really neat. Yeah, this blew my mind when I first saw this. Watch, look. So he's showing you where he was holding the two rocks together. Now watch. And it was a corner. It was a corner piece. It fits right over it. What's that remind you of? Saxe Huaman? Yes. Alright, so now we're going to check out the Frontal Lens. And what this is really just a magnifying glass, in a sense, that you can start a fire with. It's a lens that gets super hot. I mean, way hotter than a magnifying glass would. The way it's constructed allows it to do this. So here, when we take a look at this video right here, he holds the wood under it for 2 seconds and it bursts into flames. I mean, this is nuts. Now he starts, this is what I really like, is that they can melt rock with it. Now, there's been a ton of things where people are like, oh man, it looks like they melted them together. Well, perhaps they could. And there's different evidence we're going to see later. Now look at this. This is what's really neat. He's melting, he has got a nail on there, and the nail melts together with the stone and fuses together with it. This is how hot this gets. Now they say that, okay, if they're going to use fire, to soften the granite and break it. I mean, that makes sense, but if you have a lot of wood to make fire with, which the Egyptians didn't, but they had a ton of sun. So it seems logical. I mean, look, you make lava with this shit. No joke. Look how it's fused together like that. Is that crazy or what? Look at this. You make a little pool of lava with the sun, with the power of the sun. Now, there are reasons why I think that this is possible for ancient Egypt is because of some of the places around there. Like, you might not know about it, but there's the Crystal Desert with the Crystal Mountain and everything. I mean, they have a ton of crystals. And Herodotus even spoke about the Egyptians, a certain sect of them that would have been like the Nubians in the Sudan or whatever, that they had coffins, a sarcophagus made of a solid giant crystal. And the people inside were perfectly preserved. Like, they didn't need like the mummification like the other Egyptians did. It made them perfect, I mean, we never found any evidence of it, but man, that's neat. He said you could see right through to the person inside. Like, it was crystal clear and you could see right through. And there's a ton of crystal around Egypt. This piece we're looking at is not from Egypt. It's actually from Mexico. But I just figured I'd show it because there are places that have stuff like that. So maybe Egypt did too at one time. Maybe it all got used up. I don't know. But just so you guys know where this one particular picture is from. Look how this boils now. See, and just with the power of the sun, just beaming down on it, make it boil like it's nothing. I mean, is that cool or what? Now we're gonna go back into my theory of the pyramids being built on top of mountains. But I want you to look at some of this evidence. When we talk about like the air shafts that go out of the pyramids, look at these two. There's the air shaft and there's the granite plug, and see how the pieces popped off like that. I think they look real similar. You see how it breaks off like that? So, I mean, I think they could have just drilled right through the mountain using something like that, using just sound. But this is what I noticed, which was really neat. When I looked at this, I saw the sides of it, and I was like, man, that looks really weird. And then I'm like, they're mirrored images, like imprinted on the side of the stone. I mean, that's really what it looked like to me. And I mean, I don't know if no one else I know of has pointed this out before, that there's these mirror images next to these shafts. But I went and I checked to make sure. So what I did was I went and cut them exactly in half. And I took two of the same images, cut them exactly in half, and then I took one side and flipped it 180 degrees. And then it should, if it was a mirror image, it should look exactly like the original does. So that's what we're going to test out right here. So I'm flipping it around. I already made sure it was the same size and everything. Move that over a little bit. And you got to make it exactly 180 degrees. But watch this. This is so cool. I mean, I never knew about this. I've never read anything about it. I've ever seen anything, show on it, nothing on YouTube, nothing. I've never seen anything about it. Look at that. Now wait till you see the picture. Look at that. I'm telling you, like, it's like a mirrored image. So how did that happen? That's another mystery. I mean, how do you make that? What happened to do that? Something caused that. It didn't just fucking appear like that. Something fucking made that. So, I guess that's on to a new investigation for us, but that's fucking neat, man. Did you guys know about that? Fuck you. No, you didn't. Man. Yeah, I thought that was so fucking cool. I was like, what the fuck is this? Does anyone else notice this? Am I the only one who's pointing this out? I'm like, hello? Is there a mirror image there? On both sides. I believe the other side, in fact, will do the exact same thing. So, is that cool or what? Hey man, talk all this shit you want to, alright? But it's there. Now look at the inside of the shaft. Remember I was saying that it could be carved out of the mountain? This is actually what the shaft looks like. It straight looks like it's just dug straight through the mountain. You know, that doesn't look like it's the fucking, like, the limestone blocks, you know? And, now this is a room that they come to at the end of it. So, this part does. I could see why, because they have, like, this little slide-in door there. But I think the most of it was just pure mound. Now, this is what's cool. How did they get these copper handles that are in that door? How did they get it into the stone and have them, like, fused together like that? I think they could have used something like this. Used the frontal lens to heat the stone and then insert the copper handles. And then they fuse together and boom, now you got a copper handle onto it. So, makes sense, right? And it's something easy they could have done. They could have easily made a frontal lens because they have all that crystal. And that's exactly what you could use. So, look at the inside of that. Come on. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. Now, this is another thing that's really neat. This is like acoustic levitation. So you can use sound to actually control and move stuff and have it float through the air. Isn't that neat? This is just a neat piece of technology. But I think it's something that could also be taken advantage of by the ancient Egyptians. I mean, we hear stories like in the Bible how Israelites marched around the gates of Jericho and blew their trumpets at the same time. They all screamed at the same time and brought down the walls of Jericho. And a lot of other things, moving stuff with bells and other things like that. Now, this is a really cool effect. This is the Hutchinson's effect. I don't know if you guys know about this guy, but this amateur physicist, John Hutchins, discovered this effect that basically will make any kind of material fly. It will make it float. And metal, it causes it to do some kind of weird warping where it becomes like this jelly, and it literally like pulls itself apart and becomes like goo. And it just does it to metal, but it's not hot or anything. It doesn't burn, and it'll heat up the metal too, but it doesn't burn the wood underneath. It's so weird. It's just like the molecules of it heat up or something. But these are really early experiments of his. And it's cool because he's just a nerd dude, you know. Doesn't have a degree or anything in it. It's just something, he's just an amateur, just likes doing it for fun, and he's experimenting with all this different equipment, and he's blasting like ultrasonic. This is really cool. This is when he first started the effect, and like it just makes everything fly like that. It just makes everything just pop up in the air. It doesn't matter what it's made out of. This is cool. Oop. Pull the wrench up. Watch this. The goop. It's pulling it up like a droplet, just like pulling it up in the air. Is that cool or what? Look at that. That's a 60-pound cannonball just floating around. Up there go the pliers. It's spinning like that. Isn't that cool? It's trying to get up there. You see, he's like messing with the dials and stuff, trying to make it like lift it up, but I'm sure he would work it out. See, he's just like a regular. He's crazy looking too, man. This guy's cool. I dig him. Look how it's fused in like that. Now, I'm not saying the Hutchinson's effect didn't. Look at that. Not fucking crazy. I'm not saying it had something to do with ancient Egypt, although it could have. I just figured you guys should check this out because it's fucking cool. Look, oh, he's definitely a fucking alien. Come on, give me a break, you guys. Shit, look at this guy. God, I fucking love him. I just want to lick his head. You can't even move in his house. He's got so much equipment, old army surplus radios and shit. This dude's fucking awesome. This dude's so cool, man. He's just like, pew, 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 pew. He don't even know what the hell he's doing. He's like, oh, shit. Now, he got in trouble from making, like, when he first started, he was making stuff in his neighbor's house, like, float. And so the government came to, like, shut him down or whatever. But he ended up just going off-grid totally and just runs everything himself, all his power and everything, so there's nothing they can do about it. This is cool. They were setting up an experiment to try to make something move on the first yellow crate, and then all of a sudden on the floor and back, a sponge just lifted up, and they're like, "Oh man, they didn't get to see it. The cameraman saw it, and but they were in there getting everything ready, and he was just, like dialing the machine in, and a fucking sponge just took off." These are some of his homemade batteries, man. This is really cool. Look at this. God, I love this dude. Look at him. This is my kind of dude, man. This dude's awesome. Oh, yeah, man. He just goes up there and grabs some regular stones. And with those stones, he makes these batteries. That last forever. They don't run out. He's like, they last as long as minerals last. So whatever, a couple thousand years or whatever. Isn't that neat? That dude's bad as fuck, man. Look at his crooked glasses. I fucking love this guy, man. Crazy hair. This dude's awesome. That fucking cyborg battery, man. Oh, and the Star Trek outfit. God damn it. This dude's bad as fucking shit, dude. That fucking badass fucking cyborg battery over there, man. Oh, they love him in Japan, dude. He's like a rock star. Look at his house. Look at his fucking house, dude. Is this dude cool or what? So, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think that they could have used giant lenses to like melt rock and stone and stuff like that, and possibly use sound? So maybe using sound and light to manipulate stuff that we know about, we just totally overlook. What are your guys' thoughts on it? All right, UFO proof.